Now, those who are linguists may not be so, religious or dogmatic about it. They will tell you, well, listen, I love gays just as much as you know. But in reality, gays even came off of the Sabaean tongue. How many of you know of the Sabaean language, the language of Saba, which is directly connected to Sheba and Makeda and that whole story there? And then again, people break down the language into the different scripts, the Syriac script, and of course, you have the ancient Kemetic script, the Medu Neter, which ones would consider this to be the oldest language and the oldest writing. So we're going to get to that. You could tell me what you think about that Ge'ez, being the oldest tongue in general. Very interesting conversation, something for us to look into. But yes, what I want to go into this evening, really, I had it as an introduction because it's something that just came up that they want to make cannabis, ganja, illegal once again. Mm? Criminalize the cannabis once again. And that is not necessarily here in Antigua and Barbuda, but it is in the country of Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand. I'm sure many of you would have heard the news. It is not something that it's officially in motion at the moment, but it is something that they would have raised. And I think they're looking to pass the law on that, or at least stop the law that was passed that would have given the cannabis a certain level of freedom. But you see what's going on in Thailand now. The cannabis is a billion-dollar industry. Eh? The cannabis is making some serious dollars in Thailand. Whatever it is that they did a few years ago, when I say a few, like 3 or so years ago, it has taken off where many ones are capitalizing on the cannabis. I'm talking about in Thailand. In fact, there's a report. We're gonna bring that report to you tonight here on the Tiger's Nest that is speaking about the daily apprehension of uh, cannabis being smuggled from Thailand into Britain daily. They say daily it's pounds upon pounds upon pounds, scores going into hundreds of pounds daily of cannabis coming from Thailand, going into the UK, and in some cases to be shipped to other parts of Europe and to other parts of the world. So we're going to be talking about that as well, because that may be a part of the reason why that decision was made. Plus, we're going to get some interesting information that is a bit different from what we're getting from the mainstream. It doesn't make it sound as doom and gloom as the mainstream makes it sound. But again, we'll be going into all of that as well as it relates to the the ban on the cannabis once again in Thailand. Because what has been highlighted, is that even the countries around Thailand, even the Singapore and some of these other places, death sentence is still on the books, eh? Yeah, man, in some of these Asian countries, don't be sorry for them sometimes. When the earthquake and the typhoon and the tsunami and Godzilla and King Kong come for them, death sentence is still on the books. Hmm? When it comes to smoking herb. So you could imagine Thailand was seen as a progressive country in that sense. But for whatever reason, whatever the pressure, and according to the geopolitics, there was some level of a coalition government, and a faction would have separated. And I think they were the one that were pushing for the whole aspect of the cannabis stepping back situation. So we're going to get into that in a few moments right here on the Tiger's Nest. Of course, let me just show appreciation again to each and everyone who would have already reached out to us as it relates to the mission to Ethiopia, as far as getting the proposal so they could go through the information for themselves. Let me remind you again, family, those of you, let me repeat, Those of you who are going to be with us in Ethiopia for the African Union CARICOM Summit, now is the time to contact us. Do not procrastinate. You got to contact us. You hear the words now, even if you're not getting this live and you're getting it on a rerun, you need to contact us now. You already know what to do. You email us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com, and let us know, that you want to be on board. You want to be a part of the Addis Ababa tour, the Ethiopian tour. You want to be a part of the African Union CARICOM Summit mission. You contact us and let us know, and everything will be put in order. And remember, that those of you who may not want to be there, and you can be there and still be a sponsor of the mission and choose one of the sponsorships that we have available. Those of you listening who may not even know what we're talking about, we have an official diplomatic slash business slash cultural slash many other things mission to Ethiopia in a few short weeks. In a few short weeks. Now, this will be a monumental move, royal family, not sponsored by any government in any capacity whatsoever, except the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. I stress that because we would have, sent out proposals to several governments, giving them a good understanding of why this mission is necessary. And that is why we invite each and everyone to email us to get a look at the proposal for the mission so you can get a good comprehension for yourself of why we are, fulfilling what we know has been mandated of us by the Most High in flesh, King Selassie. Jah Rastafari. So remember, we have the different levels of sponsorship from the full sponsorship, which is the budget itself, $118,000, down to, I think, is a silver sponsorship, which is $10,000, and which each level of sponsorship, you literally get back the value of the contribution in products and services. So it's a full balance that you're getting. And then at the same time, remember, we are at this time giving you the best opportunity to advertise with both magazines, Kidemi and the Ambassador's Pen. I would encourage you to get into Kidemi. You need to get into Kidemi now. This edition of Kidemi is the edition that will be on full display in Ethiopia on our mission to Ethiopia. You need to be on board with this edition of Kidemi. And again, fam, and again, even if you do not want to be there, you do not want no sponsorship package, and you don't want to advertise. Well, I'm sure because you understand the mission and you love the work we do and you love us as we love you, we would have already opened the door for you to contribute. So whatever it is that you can contribute, it could be 10,000, it could be 5,000, it could be $50. But whatever it is you can contribute, we are, very thankful in advance for such contribution. And remember, this can be done via the Cash App, and you can make the contribution using Zelle and PayPal and all the other um, ways and means that are available. But any queries, any question, any are trying to get this done, just email me, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. All of these programs are a part of the fundraising campaign, and we're thankful for all of those who would have contributed. My outlook as it relates to the cannabis, you got to keep in mind, the cannabis is a plant. We did a beautiful, what you call it, a beautiful interview with Brother Emmanuel, Dr. Professor Emmanuel, from the University of the West Indies in Jamaica. And he was highlighting the great possibilities, the potential of the cannabis sativa, the potential of the plant itself. And it is the most traded and the value of it and this can be the boom to our economy, but we are afraid of Marco Rubio. We are afraid of Benjamin Netanyahu. You understand? We are afraid of the bigger red, white, and blue people because we don't want our economy to go beyond them because we remember Morris Bishop. We understand what happens when you try to pretend you're too independent like Patrice Lumumba, you know. But instead of remembering those who are gone, what about reminiscing on those who are here? Hmm? Brother Ibrahim Chore is not nobody to remember. He's doing it right now. Many people are encouraging many leaders to take a page out of the brother's book. So it's a good time to do such. And again, as I'm saying, Professor Emmanuel already showed us that, and we know this, that our economy is in the hands of the cannabis. The cannabis is a plant. The first step is to free up the plant. You don't need to all of this legislation, free up the plant. Grams and ounce and pounds and get a card and let me see your ID and all of that stuff. Free up the plant. Be revolutionary. Just free up the plant. Which other plant you have? Name the plant you have other than the cannabis that has so many yes, it's so-called free, but it has to come and report to the station at least 3 times a week. It's as if the cannabis is out on bail, parole or something, you know what I mean? That's why people like the people in Thailand, Bangkok can pull back their laws as if this is a game, as if we're playing fishing here. You can pull back the bait and pull up the hook and pull the plug and so forth. So that is why I decided to even highlight that story this evening, because it may, don't be afraid to believe. It may come closer to home. And you may say, oh, no, that can't happen around here. Listen, I ain't asking you, man. What's the date of today? I am not asking you. You want me to tell you clearly? It's about 7 to 8 days ago. We witnessed a brother being arrested when he was in perfect legal standings according to all the cannabis laws. He had to be let free, of course, but that's after spending a night in the dungeons of the wicked unnecessarily. Left his family home to say their prayers by themselves. That didn't have to happen, not according to their laws. So that's why I am saying that even what is happening in Thailand could be closer to home than many one think. All right. Now, let me see. Let us listen to this report first. Give thanks for your presence with us, life giver and the keeper of life, Tiger's Nest.